How's it going, everybody? Brett here, and I want to give my opinion on the recent discovery of the solution of the 340. My opinion of it, my opinion is that this is like the biggest hoax and hoodwink that's ever hit the internet and the news. And number two, I am joking about that. Now, I do believe this is the solution or a solution. I also believe that there are two solutions. So, first off, people know that off my channel a little bit. I'm not a big YouTuber, but someone messaged me the 340 has officially been sold by David and verified by the FBI. Another person writes, you must be bummed now that the 340 has been solved. So people are sort of dismissing what I have found, but I am going to present a case that there are two solutions to this puzzle. One is the easier one, and this is obvious in my opinion. Let me have the benefit of the doubt. Like the 408, they claim there are spelling errors in the 340 solution, but not really, because the person who sent this in, which is Zodiac, gave multiple keys to different things. So they said it was an error, but he had doubled up on a few things, and this key here actually removes the errors in the 408, and this was received one day after Donald Hardin's solution made the papers, and it was sent in by this person here who wrote working puzzles, cryptograms, and word puzzles, that he put all three in. And I do believe there is even a hidden word puzzle in the 408, plus the 340 has got a word puzzle with it as well. As I say here, there's an error E above the word best, so that's 26-1 odds of that error E above the word best. And let's continue. And the previous guy, he signed it best wishes, and ironically the Donna Lass card sent to her sister, the card said best wishes, and the first thing the person writes is best wishes, like the Zodiac did. We know that, in my opinion, that the Zodiac did write this key here because of he gave reverse Q FKLM. And if you look in the 340, there's reverse Q here, FK symbol L, reverse Q with the M like here, but in the 408, it was only used as an M. So why would he write that? And this was like sent in the day after the 408 solution. So this is how we know that best wishes is in fact, and also concerned citizen. So it's best wishes and concerned citizen is indeed the Zodiac himself. Okay, and some things I want to give here, like he's got the mirror here, and this is proof that Zodiac did write this. We've got the AIC and all goodbyes go to heaven, all in mirror format. So we know that this is Zodiac by what I have found as well. Also here, the diagonal here, so this is the hint of the 340, that in fact there is a diagonal solution to it. 14s are here, more clues. The 14th letter N is turned around like in the mirror on the previous, 14 in his hand. And there are more 14s in the 340 as well on the crossword solution. So he gives this template, and this reflects here. So for number one here in the other solution, because he made it, as I said, he said cryptograms, word puzzles, and working puzzles, something like that. So the 340 has got two layers, and here this is the symbol A. In the 408, so PA, R was a tilted one, like this one, maybe tilted the other way, but he just straightened things up. And so DICE, L-shaped words. Here, like the mirror with the N, as I said, you turn that for the P. You got literal R, E, O, symbol for the 408, and the E, so REOP, or rope in anagram. By gun, that's obvious here, and by knife. And in this layered solution that I used to think I had to fill out every letter, but you don't. It will give you two letters, like this one here is 7, there's an S and an N. all you need is them two. Oh, there's an E here as well, so you can add that E, the 408E for the word 7. That we get into this, but I want to give another example before we go back into the 340 here. We've got the word Torah. This is in Hebrew. I think it means teacher or the law, something like that. And in the Bible itself, in the original Hebrew, that if you skip, starting off with T, you skip every 50 letters, and that's why I counted out these red markers. These colons here are just colons. You spell the word Torah in the book of Genesis. So even that, the odds about 40,000 to 1 that would actually happen, but people can say that's by chance, and you're allowed to have that opinion. So skipping so there's the literal text that says like Bereshit, Elohim, God created the heavens and the earth, and then underneath there's an equal letter skipping code, exactly like what the Zodiac did. This is why I'm bringing this up. In the book of Exodus as well, the same thing happens here. You skip every 50 letters, and you got the word Torah once again. And I have counted these out, and you can count them yourself if you wish to. Take a screenshot and have a look. The next one here is the name of God, Yahweh. No one knows how to pronounce it. People just guess it these days. And in the book of Leviticus, which is the third book of the Bible, we've got to go back. That it does not have Torah, but if you skip every 7th letter, starting with the Yah, the Ha, the Va, and the Ha, that is the word of the name of God, which I just showed you, that appears every 7 skips. And so this, knowing this previously from other people, I did not discover this, obviously. That's what put me onto equal letter skipping to the Zodiac 340 for my other puzzle solve with that. And this is actually what Zodiac did as well, doing a diagonal down and across 2, it was doing letter skipping. And so, and by chance I said, I bet you that is what Zodiac has done. And there is another layer, like here, like this is a sentence on top, and then every 7 has got the skip. So, and then we go back to the next book is the book of Numbers, and this time it runs backwards. So here, instead of Torah running forwards, it's running backwards. So it's the H, the R, the Va, and the T down here. So it's still every skipping every 50 letters. And this one here, the last book, so they called, and this is another example, and this one doesn't start at the first ha or the first ta, but it starts when you look into a deeper meaning that they crossed the River Jordan, and that's where God gave Moses the law, and so the Torah, and then so this starts after they crossed the river, and you got the ha, the whatever, something like that. So anyhow, so we're going to go back. So I just want to establish another text where you have a written thing and a code underneath. If you want to believe that or not, it's up to you. And this is exactly what's happened here. As I said, as he went down in the black, it was down, 2 across, down, 2 across. And that's how the Zodiac 340 became unraveled. He did exactly what the Bible has done. But I found a new solution and a different one first. And if you look at this boy pattern here, it's 2, the 3, and the 4. This gets complicated, but see, there's the 1. And we'll go to the next one. And that comes from this pattern here, the 1 to 2, the 3, and the 4, that he has got this here. I'll explain this a bit more here. So this was saying this a 408 also have a hidden pattern, that the boy running backwards is here in the 408. It's got a boy here, and this is the boy here. And if you go down 6, here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this one here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 6 and 8, something like that. And what happens here is the so that's also body. That's the key for the word D. But also now this becomes B, substitute B, and that becomes a substitute Y. And then if you combine that together, you got BY here, and that spells sun, SON, using 408 keys, which is next to the by gun as well. Also here, he's run boy backwards. I want to get to this key further on in my little presentation here, and that's the 408 key for Y. And ironically, in the last two lines, you don't have to unscramble anything. That if you got the key, the 408 comes like this, but he's kept this BOY here to look exactly like that. And we've got the boy, and there are far more boys than even the last two I have just shown you. And this is the pattern that appears as well. And ironically, in the bottom half of the decoded cipher, you have to shift things across one to get it to work. And this is what happens exactly here. And so I'm saying this is a dual layer cipher. This is not just the 408. This is, the 340 underlying cipher. He put two meanings. He layered it, and which is proven by the paradise, the by gun. I'm not sure how hard or easy to do this is, but in my opinion, there is definitely another meaning. So we'll keep going here. And this is where, as I said, using keys, I'm like, this is the key for A, for example. So G-A-R-Y, sun. And then here, that's the R is the G, G-R-Y-A. So I've got Gary going here. The G equals A equals G, so to speak, in 408, G-Y-R, and the A, Gary, and here it comes down again. This Gary here, we'll get to this later, further on. And this becomes significant. This is what it looks like. That's the BOYs here. This is what it has become, like the A and the N. Like I say, E, van, E, best, whatever, in my opinion. People hate my subject. So here we've got Gary appearing down here in the 340, just like that as well. Okay. In the unciphered thing, I came across this. This was interesting to me. And ironically, so we've got the R and the L, and I'll show you why this becomes interesting. So this is the Sierra Club thing that Zodiac did send this in. We do know this because he spells Avery wrong because he puts E-R-L in it. And ironically, we know that he did this because the Halloween envelope spells Averly as well. And they do know Zodiac did send in the Halloween card spelling the E-R-L. That's what I want to point out here. And what I just showed you here, that besides the junior, that the reverse L is A in the 408. And so you've got A in the L, the R and the E. So we've got Earl, 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 and then we've got junior, Earl, 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 in that pattern. If you choose to believe that is by chance or not, that to what extent has he gone to layer this cipher key? That is the question. Is it by chance? As I said, this happens once in the 408, that the R and the L, and there's a few meanings here, and ironically it happens with that reverse boy that I showed you as well. And it's going to become more interesting. And we'll get back to this here, but as I said, another crossword in my opinion, that these are just 408 keys. I'll put the V, the A and the N. And then the 408 keys, you got L-E-A-R, or Earl, in my opinion. And here, you just flip these around, you add the A key in here. This is all I've done here. The rest is literal letters, Z-O-D-I-A, for this. And we'll get back to these a bit later on. Yes, I'm a bit all over the place here. I didn't want to, we might have to go back to this. So this guy here, his name is First Traveller. He discovered this, the first thing that he said, that this looks like this exact phrase here. And this is where things are going to get a little bit interesting. Now we've got the solution. That, as I said, in the last two lines are left. You don't have to do any tricks to him. And ironically, that he now has got life and scrambled, anagram reversed, as paradise here is reversed, but also for this BYO or by the boy, this is left scrambled. This is BN or reverse, so it looks like this. And what does it look like? Let's see, I'll move this out here, that in the 408, this is you, my name, and I'm going to claim that this is supposed to represent you, my name backwards. You can see the obvious pattern. Instead of a square, you've got the B, got the Y in the middle. As I said, you've got by the boy, and but it looks identical. This is in the same location in both ciphers, and now we know words can go backwards. As I said, this is the W, the key for E, the key for A, missing the other letters, but I'm going to say that is you, my name backwards, symbolically at least, because they look the same location. Y from the W is 9 spaces, Y from the W is 9 spaces, A key, different A keys, but that is what he has done. And so even here with the boy, there's a GRY. As I said, once again, you can do, Gary, the G equals A, or the R equals A. You get confused, but you know what I mean. By son, by the boy, here. And then with the boy, in the, like the 408, it comes out like this. Like here, you've got the triangle, Y, and that's what I found interesting. And then in the 340, we got the same here, that these appear twice here. And then with the boy pattern, as you can see here, that, put it this way, reverse F with the G is 50 to 1 chance. So because there's only 6 in the entire cipher, so for that to go with ARY, and that boy pattern that goes like this, what are the chances of that by the boy? And I'm going to say Gary. And we'll get more onto this later. And I do believe that there are 2 solutions. You don't have to believe me. And with this other alternate solution, and I do believe both are true, that I'm not forcing anything. I'm not really decoding anything. I'm just finding patterns that now that these do exist, these keys, that the 408 and the 340, they're cousins. That I call the 340 the evil cousin of the 408, but both have an underlying crossword in them. And this is what I added here. As I said, I added 408 keys here, in the same word as best in the other cipher appears best without the E and van without the A. So you can tell me if I'm twisting things, forcing things, and up here, SON comes up again, son is spelled out, BOY comes up, boy. I leave the B, but the others are 408. You can decide if I'm forcing things or that is there. So, and one thing, people criticize this, but I say, well, don't criticize, you put it to the test. That's what irks me with people. Don't get upset because it's someone you do not like. Do people think that Earl Best has been debunked? I say no. All they got is the hearsay of Gary Stewart's half sister of a relay story from her mother who can't be questioned. Who did she relay a story at 100% factual fact, or did Earl Best travel to the United States and then even go back to where he was because he's got family in the US? Could have said I'm selling books and documents, made up excuses and travel in and out of the US to avoid detection and stuff we do not know. So, as I said, out of anyone's name here, that you just do this. Like, there's no other suspect or person where you can, and I allow anyone to find any person that you even know personally, get the keys at 100%. They could be 100% scrambled, anagram, I do not care. You got 5 keys spelling out the person's first name and last name, Earl Best. Regardless, even though the T is upside down, but the reverse N was flipped, he is into mirroring letters. And I'm allowing that as your challenge. Find one person You can do that with 100%. It's got to be every key. I'm not saying it has to be spelt out perfectly, but at least it is scrambled. That every key must account for a first name and a last name, and this even goes to a middle name. I challenge you. Okay. So now we've established the equal letter skips. That in the boy in the 408, as I said here, first off we've got BST, right? So I've got doing letter skips with you, my name, with that boy backwards as well. BST appears in the same line. On top of this, that's the B and the Y pattern here. So if you do, for example, B, S, E, T, best. On top of that, so now you can go also, that's the L symbol for the 408, which I just showed. So that's L, that's the A because the triangle was A and S. So we've got A, E keeps the E, and that's the R symbol. So we've got Earl Best either way. On top of that, we have got Gary. Got the literal G, just add the A, and we've got that pattern, RY, doing this exact pattern. So what are the odds of this appearing? Even though I'm adding, but am I really forcing it that hard to make this appear on the same line that is you, my name, with the boy appearing backwards in the 408 in the same pattern that is appearing 3 times in the 340 appears Earl Best, doing equal letter skips. Now Pandora's box has been opened. Now that with the solve of the 340, that as I said, I guessed equal letter skipping, and lo and behold, to what degree are we doing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all good children go to heaven with those boys. There's a boy going down with 1 spacing. There's another one with 2, the 2, the 3, and the 4, the 6 and the 8, if you know what I'm saying. And now, let's go here again. So now, because of the best wishes key, we can re-evaluate these letters here, and total enneagram scrambling. So if you call that an enneagram, because enneagram is supposed to be a different word that you scramble, but just say scrambled letters. So now, out of any person who has come to light, is Earl Best the photo, can be now scrambled at the last 17 keys of the 408. So you tell me, for some other reason. On top of that, when you go to spell the word best, only V and E appear once in the 408, for example. And the first thing he writes when he finishes the 408 is the letter E, and then he goes to write the word best, but he just does the B and the E. On top of that, the X is reverse J, so I just put the J there, reverse R, just if I stick that J here, so E Best Junior appears straight away at the end of the 408. I'm just showing you what's there. Another strange thing is this pattern here at the bottom of the Exodus letter. And that's what appears with this shape here, that Van Earl here. As I said, another precarious that I want to show, like the Z here. He puts the Z here. So Z with this shape here, does that resemble this part here? Mirrored, ZODIAC, and we've got this coming here like best that comes off here as well. Using 408 keys, keeping BS here. E with the best wishes key was only used as E in the 408. But here, E, because this is an E here, it can be used as S as well. So we're getting a layered crossword. And as I said, here, the same location as best, keeping the literal B here. Literal B is kept there as well. ST, Van, best. And as I said again, does it look like this? It's up to you. Could these keys here be this here is what I am showing. As I said, the Melvin Belli card. Once again, I found this myself. In my opinion, with the new year, I believe there's an L inside this A. So I got EARL in my opinion. You can decide. I believe there's a right angle. He's hidden an L inside of here for Earl Best. As I said, Badlands is if you're seeing it on YouTube, it's about a 25-year-old man who hooks up the 15-year-old girl who goes killing. Earl Best marries, he's 27, marries a 14-year-old girl. With the 1959 here, like you said, an E inside and like a VEV as well, a disguising thing. So once again, another shadow of Earl Best, in my opinion. A great one. As I said, I don't want my name in the papers. The best wishes. You know who's got his name in the paper, and his name disappear, and that's the um, Earl Best Jr. in the 408, and that's it here in the 340. So it's up to you if you want to conclude that do these shapes also represent this, that his name again appears. And I want to say that, yeah, there could be a Geik and there could be some other name, but I'm telling you that for whatever reason, Earl Best's name is appearing everywhere. I am like I'm losing count of how much Earl Best's name is actually losing here. So here, again, it's like that's the E Best here. I meant the right Best here. I must have forgot, showing the equal letters skip. And over here is a E Best because that's the key for E, as I highlighted here. We have got by the gun literal letters. Here, as I said, the K and the F for knife perfectly, but rope. As I said, the E and the O. So here, this is the key for E. I'm guessing reverse B equals S as well. And we've got another best here, E Best. So what's the odds of, like, I'm just had the E here, I'm missing the S, but we've got the B, the E, the T, and the E in the same spot. And again, maths. Let's use maths. There's only 3 targets in the entire 340. So it's 101 chance of this appearing like here with the word best did in the 408. So once again, we virtually have got a best reappearing in the 408. And as I said again, so we've got VAN, we've got ZO, and we've got the junior. Gary found this himself. He only saw the VAN like this. He missed this V. So we go VAN, and I'm still working out that, in my opinion, for this whole group here, the odds about 200,000 to 1 to appear by chance. People could say it could be 30,000 to 1. I did some sums, like for example, ZO is about 36 to 1. I did the same here, 36 to 1 for the JR. So that's about 36 times whatever. So it's 900 to 1, and then times this, whatever this adds up to appear by chance. Multiply that. I could be out with the sums, but it's still not a bad statistic. And that's what I'm saying. People don't like Earl Best, but I want to say, what does maths say? I'm not tunnel vision on Earl. I do believe somehow he is Zodiac. I really do. Probably the only person on earth that believes Earl Best is a Zodiac. But I say it because the ciphers say it. The clues say it. Like no other person. There's a mathematical peak on Earl Best above everybody else, in my opinion. So even here, we've got the boy here, Gary. Here the G equals R. I will see something like that. So, Gary here, believe it or not, with the boy as well. Like that other Gary I showed earlier with the square. And he uses this to spell Gary again, as I showed earlier with these finds. Using maths, as I said, 50 to 1, you got the boy pattern. One going one way, one going the other. Reverse S with G, skip 2, reverse F, 50 to 1 twice, and then you got this above it. It's up to you. And I do believe that Gary's real name is Earl Van Best Jr. That's how Earl knew him. But there is the ghost killer letter, if you know about this, that I do believe that Earl Best's father was a priest, and they know all about adoption agencies. They got contacts. That I know my friend's auntie, same situation. She's in the system. So I do believe that Earl Best found out Gary's real name. There's a letter called the Ghost Killer Letter. This is researching, and there's murders of this little poor black kid. And first off, they did the phone call like Zodiac did, and then the mall was called Stuart Mall. So Gary Stewart taken off. This kid was abducted from Stuart Mall and dumped on Van Driver Road or something, the body. So we've got the word Van and Stewart. Very unique phone call, ghost killer, letter, phone call, in my opinion. Just wanted to bring up like the V pattern here that again he orchestrated these patterns in the 408, the 340, I keep calling it the wrong one. But I just want to give another example that he was able to do this equal letter skipping and another crossword, another pattern within this thing. And I do believe this is like a torso or a shield. People got different opinions. That's up to them on that. And as I said here, we got ZO, JR Junior, EV, an upside down symbol for V. It's up to you, EV Junior. As I was saying, Zodiac. So we'll go to here. So let's see here. So this is the You My Name sequence here, okay? As I said, using 408 keys, you spell D-E-V-I-L, spells devil with You My Name. How does that sound? So the odds of that, as I established earlier, an L-shaped paradise, for example. And now here, we've got E-A-R-L, like that. And again, with this You My Name pattern, ironically now, the letter B has become an E as well. In the 408, it's an L, now it's become an E. And that's why I questioned like the Z in the 408 being an E as well, that the person's name for Z for Zodiac did start with an E. I concluded that myself. People could say Edwards with that one as well. You're allowed to. So now you've got Earl as well here, because that's the L, that's the E, that's the R, and that's the A. So You My Name, we've got Earl here. And with the equal letter skipping, with the other one, ironically, it was the B, the T, and S. The B, the T, and the S with the upside down T, as I say. Okay, we'll go back to the slideshow. That's what I was just saying before. Again, the square Gary, just using this. And showing some other boys, and this is another find. That's what I'm saying. This is by the boy. So even though that is by gun here, this is the O symbol, by, and then boy enagrammed, which now we can enagram. This was also used as the O symbol minus the dot, but it was still used as an O symbol. Again, by the boy enagrammed. So that's by and then boy. Reverse D, mirror, like the mirror. Can we now mirror, like the, as I said, all good boys go to heaven, and the reverse N, can now we mirror the keys literally to get another meaning. And we got a O here as well, by the boy, and that's boy, by. So this happens too many times for this to be by chance. Like one or twice, person can dismiss it, but I say now you cannot dismiss it. Oh gee, look, why did I put that picture there? That's horrible. There's even more times to this, but 6 times that out of anyone's name in the with ZO, we've got Best Junior here in the 340. The first time Zodiac, again, word Zodiac, Van Best adds up, and there's that other one that's down there as well. So there's even probably 7. Zodiac at the bottom, we've got Earl, and then Best again. As I said, the Van Best, there's a ZO coming off that one here. And I just wanted to show this in the center. So what's the odds? Every time you got ZO, you got VN Junior, EV Junior, Earl Best Name coming up 6 times. And there's a difference if, like, there's been other solves in the past where people use, like Arthur E. Allen, but they're using random letters to make that appear. I'm using 408 keys, Zodiac alphabet, to show you what's there. That is the difference. And that's where I say there is strength with this, because you could say this is my opinion, but I'm adding 408 keys and All Best, he's appearing with devil. And even for a 4-letter word to appear is like 6,000 to 1. Devil to appear, 30,000 to 1. So Earl and devil to appear, 1,000,000 to 1. Or it could be a bit more, 10 million to 1. So I'm using maths as a logical thing. The 14 word on play, love heart here. In the I love, 14. Only Earl Best is the only one that loves 14. Using maths, if you've got a dictionary and drew out 20,000 random words, say one in 20,000 one word, 1 in 20,000 another. That is 400 million to 1 that two words are drawn out of a dictionary. That's where you can have Spock and Enterprise. Just two words. People say, what's that word? Star Trek. Han and the Falcon. Ben, Star Wars. So just two words can mean one thing. And that's why I'm going to say the same here. I love 14. Earl Best is a peak with that. And his name is the one appearing in the 408. So by coincidence, the person name who is appearing, who does appear on more than one occasion, is the one that fits this, fits the Badlands, if you know what I'm saying. So we've got that established. So that's the E Best here in the, what do you call that thing, the 408. That's what it looks like here. And then, as I said, there's a similar one here, if you can see how similar that is, in the 340, as I was saying. So I'm just showing the target is on both, on top of that, so 101 chance on that one. And now it won't clip around. I've run out of things to show. And it appears I've run out of things to show, but maybe because I did them back here, so I'm going to have to go back early on because they were out of order, like everything I seem to do. I always stuff it up. See, what was that? So this is another equal letter skip, okay? So we're now going on a little skip. So this is the Best Junior here in the 408. So this is the word girl, right? G-I-R-L in the 408. So now we've got J, U, D, and the I. Like as I showed earlier with the different letters, so the I equals the U. So that if you reverse it back, you get Judy in the 408 as well, skip down. As I said here, you've got a Judy here, L-shaped Judy. And this is Gertrude. So the R is the G. So the G and the R, doing equal letter skip, scrambled, but you get Gertrude as well. And that's the same location here. And we'll go back to here. 408. So this is like spelling errors apparently, but this virtually spells Gertrude here. So what's the odds of that? So let's see, 7 down, and we'll go to the 408 here, 2, 6, 7. So this is that Gertrude here with the spelling error, and ironically there's a, we'll change the color. So we've got another Judy here, and what's symbolic about the Z, as I said, if you tilt it, it becomes an N, which is the 14th letter, as Judy was 14th. So both ciphers have got an L-shaped Judy, as I established the paradise with the L-shaped paradise, L-shaped devil. 340, we've got an L-shaped book with the Earl Best. We've got another book here, as you sold books. As I said, the word Earl here, Earl Best. And so I've got some handwriting, so we'll just go off random if you're still with me at this point. So we'll go to my Zodiac files. Let's see what I have got here. I'll try and hunt down my handwriting. Just some random things. I'll see what I've got under here. So we'll just quickly go through here. So this is the only known, in my opinion, real writing of Earl Van Best to exist that you could get your teeth on. This is it. So this is the FBI letter that I believe Earl wrote this. And ironically, he did these Fs like a 4, like F of 14, because he loves his Judy. So these are the things I used. This is the Ghost Killer letter, as I was alluding to earlier. So there was a few other letters that come into the FBI, and he distorted letters. Like he made a K with a V in it. So once again, like the V pattern, Why would you do that? Like there's a V and a B for FBI, for example. And so I compared the word best with his own signature with the Donna Lass letter. And what I noticed that if you look here, you put the baseline with the capital B, and then the writer rows the E. Earl Best, this is 100% Earl Best. This is his signature on his arrest thing. And the Donna Lass one, see how it's sort of curving over the B, but the E is raised each time after the capital B. And then also overlaid the spacing, the crossing of the T, the spacing, if you can see here. I will hyphen that up. That it's up to you to how accurate you believe that to be. As I said here, to me this is a big one. On the Earl Best, we got the Donna Lass card, and then we have got the FBI letter that both times, 3 times Earl Best wrote Francisco split up with cursive writing. So instead of writing Francisco consecutively, or whatever the word is, that he's spelled Francisco and he split them up 3 times. Ironically, that this is exactly what the Donna Lass writer did with Guardian, Donna, and this word, but also like here, believe, like he put a gap here. Evidence, he did the same thing here. FBI, so what's the odds that the person that fits, as I said, the 14, name appears in the 340 cipher, name appearing everywhere, writes Badlands, Love I, Love 14. Now, it's the same person who writes cursedly, or cursive, not whatever, this many times. So, so, and another similarity that Earl Best and the Hoover writer wrote there, like here, this is him writing Chandler. We'll get this up. Even with the higher C, the capital C, that he writes the H excessively high. Look at that, D's. And ironically, that this is exactly what the Ghost Killer writer did. And the writer of the FBI Hoover card with the H's, for some reason, wrote the H's even above the capital C, which was highly, so we got another similarity of a handwriting habit. And again, and these are just some overlays that I did of Earl Best. The FBI Boston letter, once again, that these B's are sort of leaning over, and I am just highlighting, and I just move them around here, just to slightly move them about so you can evaluate. And one is overlaid on the other, and the other one is low. So one has one turn overlaying one way, one in the other, and I just slid them about, just slightly about, so you can see roughly what they look like, to how similar that this curve is on the B. And like this one, in my opinion, look at that, that's just so perfect. It's pretty amazing in my opinion. As I say my opinion, known as to believe a word I say. Another thing I did with the Donna Lass card, this is by sheer chance, that I was like, to overlay them, I was taking pictures and I was fading them to a fainter. And then when I did that, I noticed these pressure points appear, that both on the Donna Lass card and Earl Best, that he put pressure points in these 2 locations on writing the H's. So here, Earl Best, when I faded that more, these pressure points appeared. So on top of that, writing H, he puts these pressure points down. And then I overlaid the H's, overlaid some D's. And another similarity here, that with Earl Best and the Donna Lass card, is these sharp angles that appear in the print. Like this is Judith, sharp bang zoom, D bang zoom. Francisco, U, if you want to see how that U comes down and brings up. A here, look at that, brings down A, sharp angle, boom, up. And then we've got Donna Lass card, there's only a few examples, but like that D, down, boom, up. The D, bang, see he's doing ticks, like this here. Same pattern appears on Earl Best Jr. I'm not a qualified handwriting expert, but you can tell me how good I am or am not. It's up to you to do this. And I wanted to bring this like the best here. This is his arrest signature, so it is a legitimate document of Earl Best, and just showing that, as I said, this is the FBI Hoover card that 4 times he did this weird triangular shape with the F's, and I believe doing a wordplay for 14. Caliph, he did a different one here. So what I'm saying that he's an adventurous handwriter, that Zodiac is the Earl Best, that they do have the same patterns, but also doing these excessive manipulations. Instead of just having one steady handwriting, you know the story. So, and then yes, and that's what I was showing here. We've got Judith, and we've got Guardian, the D's, and an overlay. So let's see, what else have we got? So this is Zodiac D. So this is the only, there's not many of Earl Best. So this is Zodiac D's that I thought that did look like Earl Best D's. Like they've got the elong shape. So it sort of comes down long. So look at this. So Earl Best has a long, this one all like that. And Zodiac did the exact same long D here. There's another example here. You can see, look at that, it sort of does even like a really thin, instead of a O, it's a thin oval. And I just wanted to show that. And here with the pen, and that's where he wrote the ink, and like that D here, and just some others in his writing. I just thought I'd throw that in. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, so I was just doing a few things like, again, the angles of the H. I just drew a line, Donna Lass, Elvan Jr. Did a line for angle. You can decide how good or not that is. Zodiac H's, this one here looks similar to that. You know the story. Okay, let's continue. This is a good similarity in my opinion. So this is how we work out if one person wrote the other. So Donna Lass card S, FBI Zodiac S. So look how similar in construction these are. They're a little bit different, but I think they're very uncanny. So that's Zodiac FBI letter. So that's 1, 2 FBI letters here, 2 different ones. Bang, Donna Lass card. And that looks very similar to that. If you want to have a look here, I will increase that one here. Looks very similar. So once again, so that's where you say, if that handwriting matches that one, so he wrote the Hoover letter. That's how you go it. And then if somehow Earl Best wrote the Donna Lass card, well, he have to write the Hoover letter by default. And this is another example of the more V. So why on earth, because he went by the name Van, this mysterious letter writer, like the P making a V, like killing, taken here, another example of the V's, the Zodiac, these mysterious letters that were sent in because he liked writing letters. And the Badlands, in my opinion, is a B and the V. And I showed this before. We'll continue on. You're probably not missing some bit. And ironically, that this is worth showing that this W here is a V and an N for Van, Earl Van. You may not believe it's like, that's more of an N, and that's the V, and it is manipulated. And can I prove it? That in the 408, that WWWWW, but the one that actually spells Earl, look at that, that's more like a V and then an N. And that's why I put the examples of the other W's, but ironically the one that spells Earl is different, if you can see that. will fully enlarge this. If you can notice how this is here. Okay, let's see, we'll go back up. And then we'll continue on. And then at kid, so this is another zodiac. Why is he writing at kid? So this is another letter, I think the Channel 9 letter to, they're saying, oh, is it zodiac? But why would a forger write at kid? So we've seen the by the boy and by the son. Like, if you're trying to fake zodiac, you wouldn't be thinking this. You would make it more believable. So that is why, in my opinion, I do believe this is a zodiac letter as well. I think there's a whole range of letters that are actually done by him. And so that's what I said at the kid. And ironically, to do with the Atlanta, the kid that I claim he killed, and he writes about the buses, like he did the buses over in he was going to kill kids hopping off the bus, and here he is that he will kill 3 more black boys. And that's what I was saying, the odds of that black kid who was killed, so he is saying I'll kill 3 more to do the forced busing. Why would a person write letters, a killer who writes about buses? Like, really, is there any other person who writes about buses, who writes letters, who rings in? If you know what I'm trying to say. As I said, with the Riverside thing, that Earl Best probably did not kill Cherry Joe Bates, but he probably did write those letters in because he was just an idiot. And yeah, so this was brought up, the letters here. I'll just go back to this. Might as well go all out with this rant, that these are small e's, they're not dots, and we'll go back to that further on later. So what have we got here? As I said, the DP Cooper. This was included in the FBI files, these letters. E. Van, written in. He just wants to write in just to whatever, and just showing the similarities between what I showed earlier. The junior, that he made the eyes look like J's. And for some reason in the whole Hoover letter, he used no lowercase r's. Everything was uppercase R. Why would you do that? Why would you do that for? You tell me they're making eyes look like J, JR, Junior, which is the pattern in the 340 that David found. And this is the exact what I'm talking about. This is the case. I don't have to go looking far. I did a similarity between Ghost Killer and even Earl Best. I think there are some similarities. High H's is another one. But as I said, Luba Getter, I hope that's how you, Luby, what a name, sorry, all respect. It was found by a dog, landowner who was destroying rabbit traps in the wood on Van Diver Road. So we've got the van taken from Stuart Mall, and the guy who rang in like Zodiac, traced to Stewart Avenue. And that's what I'm saying. The odd Van and Stewart with Gary Stewart, they're very unusual names to come together once again, and writes letters, write the Ghost Killer letter. He got sick of Zodiac. He thought, let's get inventive and become the Ghost Killer. And that's my opinion and thoughts. Best in the West Red Mask here. Look at that. And so that appears to be the end of here. So we'll just have a quick look if something else is in here that I wanted to show. And this is it here. That, as I said, you just tilt that to the N and you got Van. He put capital letters VAN, and that's a small E. It's not supposed to be a dot. And that was what I was showing before in that letter. Every dot is supposed to be a full stop, but no, there's more E's, and that bled. And E. Van appears here, in my opinion. It's up to you. As I say, all you do is tilt the Z, like he tilts the mirror, everything, which I have now shown is a possibility. Ironically, in capitals, keeps the capital A here, did not have to capital A that. Van. That's what I did here. And I got kicked out of a Zodiac group for showing this. Oh, poor babies. Get so upset, don't they? So yeah, I'll wrap it up here. So over my life, I'll just do a little tour here, just for fun. So these are all my previous workings, tutorial videos, just one example that I built, like the puzzle cipher, explaining what I have done. I have, like everyone who gets on this, hats off to David, like he's, the amount of work that David would have done is like beyond insanity in my opinion, and the work and the time I have spent on my own findings, my own different approaches that, as I was saying, with the Bible code, if you believe that or not, put me on a different trajectory, and I stumbled across these myself. That's what I'm saying, and so that's that one here. Let's see here. And this was my first video that I ever made, where I started to take another look. I thought mine was the only solution, but now, like the 408, in my opinion, it too has an underlying crossword. There is far more in it, doing equal letter skips. That's why he chose the letters so I can do these skipping techniques. As you can see that, and I was just throwing ideas out and see what worked. Just random ideas, random letters. As I said here, following the like these patterns here with Earl, but ironically, if you tilt it, it looks like the skeleton, like doing that. So yes, let me just have a look. Anything worthwhile? And as I said, and that's why I'm playing around with anagrams. Like with that pattern here in the 408, I concluded it could mean I love, in my opinion. Probably still does. As I said, another find here that there's a few similarities, and ironically, with the Earl here, so that's E-A-R-L, that's A and the L, R-E-A-R-L, like that other one I showed, like it's mirrored, and the chances of this on both lines with the 14. Yeah, so, and Gary Stewart has seen my work. I've shown David, don't know, seen some of it. He said, interesting patterns. Let's see here, so yeah, so anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'll conclude here, but you get the gist. So I just wanted to go over things. I do believe David got the solution, but also believe in my solution. I do believe there are two solutions. I have justified my solution as well, but hats off to, again, once to David for not giving up. To many times I felt like 2 or 3 years ago he concluded that the 340 was a red herring, that there was no message in it and he was going to give up, but something inside of him just kept going and going and going, and and I wonder if David thinks that was worth it. So yeah, as I was saying, so this is like the Judy 14 FOR Judy baby, like that. But anyhow, have a good day everyone. I hope this video was brilliant. Have a good day.